Today, it seems like the world is filled with the most amazing construction projects imaginable, but there are still some that really stand out as incredible, and certain countries are taking great strides to build the newest, fastest, biggest, and best infrastructure. When you look at these projects, it seems like nothing is too big or too bold in the world of construction. Many countries are working to outdo each other, and whether it's new trains, new airports, or even artificial rivers, designers and innovators are constantly breaking new ground. It's marvelous what's being produced now. So let's take a look at the countries at the forefront of the most amazing developments, and explore what they're creating now, along with the records that they're breaking. Number 5. Jeddah Tower, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Record-breaking, future tallest building in the world. Jeddah Tower is being built in Saudi Arabia, and it's slated to become the tallest building in the world when it's completed. It will stand at over 3,000 feet tall, meaning it's going to be the first structure on the planet that reaches the 1 kilometer mark. It was initially known as Kingdom Tower, but the name was changed to Jeddah Tower. When finished, the tower will house the highest observatory in the world, and it's full of futuristic features, such as a 98-foot outdoor balcony and one point intended to serve as a helipad. It was the brainchild of the billionaire investor, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal of Saudi Arabia, who wished to build the tallest building in the world, outdoing the Burj Khalifa, which was still being built when he began this project in 2008. The key players involved are Adrian Smith and Gordon Gill Architecture of Chicago, and the tower stands on a 120-acre plot as part of the Jeddah Economic City development. This is intended as a 3-phase project that would transform the waterfront land, which was undeveloped at the time the project began. The economic city was initially estimated to cost around $20 billion and slated for completion within 10 years, but that was in 2013, and it suffered multiple delays since then, including political unrest, contractor issues, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Construction was resumed in 2023 after 5 years of inactivity, but at this time the building was only about 1/3 complete, and much remains to be done. That said, once the tower is completed, it will serve as a demonstration of man's construction mastery. Number 4. Maglev Train, Japan. Record-breaking, future fastest train in the world. It's not just about height when it comes to construction, of course. Sometimes the designers and architects set their sights on other records, such as speed. That's true of the Maglev train, which will connect Nagoya and Tokyo with a high-speed rail link to provide commuters with better options and ease commuter problems. A relatively recent project, this has a highly tentative completion date of 2037. The project makes use of some incredible advancements. Maglev trains utilize superconducting magnetic levitation technology, and the trains are actually around 10 centimeters above the track, allowing them to reach much greater speeds than traditional trains can achieve. The Central Japan Railway Company's president said that the project was capable of bringing about significant benefit and developments for the Japanese economy, and the line could serve as a backup for the major metropolises of Japan if a natural disaster should strike the country. On these rails, trains could be traveling as fast as 500 kilometers per hour, while most trains only reach top speeds of about 300 kilometers per hour. However, the project has run into problems, because a short passage needs to run through the Shizuoka prefecture. Less than 10 kilometers would pass through this region, but the pushback due to the environmental issues has been significant. It's feared that the tunnel's construction could have a negative impact on the volume of water that passes through the river. Solutions using the Tashiro's Dam seemed promising, but the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism created a report saying that the development might damage the Minami Alps. And the governor for the area, Kawakatsu, is not keen to see the project go ahead. Kawakatsu said the proposed route passes through the Minami Alps, a biosphere reserve recognized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. The government panel report says there will be damage to the environment, so the issues are clear. With his opposition ongoing, the future of the project is somewhat uncertain. It's unclear whether he will be swayed by arguments in favor of the Maglev train route, or whether the project will have to be adapted or abandoned. However, if it goes ahead, it could revolutionize transport in Japan and set a worldwide standard for faster train journeys journeys and shorter commutes everywhere. Number 3. Al Maktoum International Airport, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Record-breaking, future largest airport in the world. Slated for completion in 2030, the Al Maktoum International Airport will be situated in Jebel Ali, almost 40 kilometers southwest of Dubai. Much of the airport has already been built and was opened in 2010, mostly handling freight rather than passengers at present. As of 2023, it only had the capacity for about 1.6 million passengers annually. The airport's cargo terminal, known as the Al Maktoum Airport Cargo Gateway, was around half complete by the end of 2008 and had already cost about $75 million. However, the full airport is a long way from completion. By the time it is finished, it will span about 35,000 acres, serving a projected annual capacity of 12 million tons of freight and over 160 million passengers. The full project is estimated to cost around $82 billion. The airport is owned by Dubai Airports, and the CEO, Paul Griffiths, has discussed what will set it apart from all other airports in the world once it has been completed. "We are not planning an airport that has terminals. We're going to completely change the business model for airports, make them actually far more intimate, and get rid of all the legacy processes that we've had to subject our customers to for far too long." However, it should be noted that in 2018 the company delayed its second phase of construction for 5 years, struggling to raise finances and handle schedule airline traffic, partly because of the success of Dubai International, where the company chose to focus its energies. Problems such as low oil prices and the COVID-19 pandemic have also had an impact on the project and the number of passengers flying through the airport. But updates last summer indicate that construction is back on track. Once completed, the Al Maktoum Airport could be the largest airport on the planet, reflecting growing travel needs and our ongoing commitment to expansion. Number 2. New Delta Project, Egypt. Record-breaking, the world's largest artificial river. Developed by Metito, Orascom Construction, the Arab Constructors, and Hassan Alam Construction, the New Delta project is a key part of the water agenda for Egypt and demonstrates their unwavering commitment to creating water security. It's part of the government's strategy to build communities that are more drought resilient and expand their agricultural lands. And it reflects a mandate from the Ministry of Defense, Armed Forces Engineering Authority Water Department. This prestigious and ambitious project has already won 4 Guinness World Records, and it can provide irrigation for over 1 million acres of agricultural land. It's also aimed at helping to remove pollution from the Mediterranean Sea coast in Alexandria and from Marriott Lake. It will help mitigate climate change in the area by diverting floods and wastewater that's causing land sinkage, absorbing surplus water during rainy seasons. The project is slated to cost about $5.2 billion and will carry about 10 million cubic meters of water through the first channel of the artificial river alone. The second and third channels will provide irrigation to nearby land. Most or all of the money will come from the Egyptian government in any effort to reduce the country's dependency on imported wheat and increase its food security. The first phase has started, and thus far no significant issues have arisen. This phase involves developing the infrastructure to carry the water, while the second phase will cover the reservoirs and the third will be the land's cultivation. Although unique to the needs of Egypt, the New Delta project reflects a growing need for countries to think about water storage, water use, and land irrigation, especially as climate change issues increase. Number 1. International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, ITER, France. Record-breaking, world's largest fusion reactor. Better known as ITER, the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor is currently considered one of the most ambitious projects on the planet, and is an attempt to create a magnetic fusion device that proves fusion is possible on a large scale, offering a carbon-free source of energy. 35 nations are currently involved, including China, Korea, the Russian Federation, the US, and most of Europe. The project hinges on building the largest tokamak in the world, with a tokamak being an experimental machine that's designed to harness the energy of fusion. This concept was created in 1985, and since then thousands of scientists and engineers have contributed, as well as contractors from across the globe. The members of ITER have engaged in a decades-long collaboration which will be built in southern France. A great many potential problems dog this project, including disagreements between nations, overrun construction costs, construction delays, loss of trust in French nuclear authorities, over-optimistic schedules, lack of expertise in some areas, and more. Although comprehensive plans have been put in place to address many of these issues, the problems remain significant. New plans will be released in the latter half of 2024 to respond to technical reviews and deal with the issues. Even so, as of 2023, the project is decades behind schedule. It has cost more than $22 billion, far outstripping initial budgets of $6.3 billion, and is almost 20 years on from its official start date in 2006. However, if successful, the project has the potential to revolutionize energy generation, creating a fusion machine large enough to generate power for the grid. This has the potential to solve many energy crises around the world, allowing the globe to shift to a cleaner power source and move away from harmful fossil fuels. To sum up, the world is currently home to remarkable construction projects of all shapes and sizes, and countries have made huge strides when it comes to pushing the limits of what we can build. From artificial rivers to buildings that seem so tall they could actually touch the sky, plus a fusion project that could revolutionize the way we power the planet, we're growing even bolder, more innovative, and more creative. These projects are at the front lines of construction innovation, and it's exhilarating to think about what's coming next. Excited for more construction wonders? Click the video on your screen to unravel Tanzania's $1.3 billion power plant. See you there.